Hey y'all, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this really cute patriotic flower wreath using bandanas. And as you can see, I did decide to put some stars on the blue part. You know, I gave you that option to do it or not at the end of the video. You do whatever you want to do, but I decided to add them. Anyways, stay tuned and I'll show you how to make it. All right, friends, I'm back to filming. It has been, what, like 9 days, 10 days or something since I have filmed, but I've got a lot of stuff going on. In personal life, business-wise, really is what I'm talking about. I'm working heavily on a new book. It's going to be a book of crochet patterns coming out soon. So anyway, of course, I'll let y'all know when it's ready. But for this wreath, you need a 12-inch wreath form. You can use 14 inches. People ask me, what about the Dollar Tree? You can. You're just going to have to use more bandanas. And the center, you're going to have to bring your petals down so that your center will fit, you know, and cover up the ends of your petals. So you're going to need more bandanas, okay? So this is a 12-inch wreath frame. I got that at Joann's, or I'll have a link in the description box so you can order from Mel's Crafty Mojo. I also have this plastic canvas. This is the 7 mesh. There's a 7 mesh and a 14 mesh. You want to get the 7 mesh. Your zip ties will not fit through the 14 mesh, okay? I'm telling you, don't make that mistake. So I have a circle here. This is just parchment paper. And I'm going to take some scissors and I'm going to trace with my scissors. Yeah, okay, Amber. I want to cut around this circle so that we can fit it inside of our wreath. You can use whatever color plastic canvas you have. I just grabbed a handful of the black when I was at the store. The color doesn't matter here. So I'm going to cut this out and we'll be back. Okie dokie. So now I have these 4-inch zip ties, cable ties, whatever you want to call them. These came from Walmart. So what I'm going to do is flip my wreath frame over. This is the back. And then we're going to zip tie it just in places all the way around on this inner ring here, okay? Why did I flip it or do that? It's just easier. It's just easier to get the zip ties on there. So you just take it and just go through one of these holes kind of close to the edge. Just bring it around. Put the end through there. Make a mental note to not put lotion on your hands when you're getting ready to make something. Because I always try to like scrub my hands because I have glue and paint on them all the time. And I try to scrub all that off before I make a video so people won't run their mouth. And then I don't think and I'm putting on lotion and do better, Amber. So now we're going to do this all the way around. Okay, so this is what we have so far. We're going to set this off to the side. Okay, now what we have, bandanas. At this exact moment, I don't know how many bandanas we're going to use. I said in the previous video how many, but because we're going to be alternating the colors, I don't know exactly how many of each color. So we're going to work on that. It's easier to determine how many you need in one color, but I don't know for this one. So anyway, you're going to bear with me, please, and I'll tell you how many I use. But these came from Walmart. Now, this was not over. The last video I did, I had gotten those bandanas like over with the like the handbags, hats, things like this. Now, these were over in the craft section, okay? These were in the craft section, and yes, they were cheaper. These were like $1 or something like that. Cheaper, but you know, you can get them wherever. Dollar Tree, I'll put a link down below. You can get them on Amazon. But anyway, let us start with the blue one. Why are you doing this? Why does it have a staple? All right. It poked me in my finger. So let us open up our... Oh, for heaven's sake. I need a bigger table. We're going to open up our bandana. And then we're going to fold it. And now we're going to be cutting it. And if you watched the previous video, you already know this. But anyway, we're going to find the center of this bandana. I need something to scrape it with. Hold on. Okay, I've got something. All right, so we're going to find the center of our bandana. See, I folded it up, and then we're going to fold this over. And we have folded it into a nice square. And now this is our center point down here. I'm just taking this paint stir stick. I'm just kind of scraping it a little bit to determine exactly where that center point is. You can measure it if you want to, but I don't feel like dealing with a tape measure. And then fold it out, and this is our center point. So now you want to find something straight to mark a line with. I'm just using this old paint stick. And we're going to go from this center point to this top corner. Make sure everything is nice and straight. This center point to the top corner. You're going to mark that with a pen. It'll be hard to see because this fabric is dark. If you have fabric chalk, use that by all means. And I'm not worried about this line because once you cut it, you're not going to see it, okay? Now we're going to do the same thing over here. Let's flip this around. Go from our center point here up to this corner. And you're going to mark it. Why am I drawing on the board? I don't know. Now from the center point up, I'm going to scoot my chair back. From the center point up. And now you are going to cut along those lines, and I'll be back. All right, so now you have 4 triangles. You're not going to separate them, okay? You see how this is 2 pieces here? You're not going to separate them. Leave them alone. So now we're just going to lay this over here. Let's get our wreath frame. And we're going to take our zip tie. And I'm going to be working on the canvas part only. That way you are sure that your petals are straight so that they won't whoop and be all catawampus. So we're just going to go in straight. I'm fairly close to the bar here. Just going to go in, and then you're going to pull it back up the back side. Just skip a square or a space. Doesn't really matter. Pull it up, make your loop, fasten it. I tried to wipe my hands off a while ago. It didn't exactly work. Okay, and now you have a loop. Now we're going to make our petal. You see, this is the point, and this is your long part here. Just kind of hold that point down and just gather up the long part. That's going to be your petal, like so. And no, I did not worry about ironing this because it's going to be all crinkly anyway. Don't worry about ironing it. So take your petal. Now you can chop off these ends now if you want to, or wait until you thread it through your little zip tie loop here and then trim them off. That's up to you. However you want to do it. Okay, so you want to make sure, of course, that your petal is going to cover your frame here. You see about how far I've got that down? Okay, and now we're just going to tighten that down like so. And then I will trim these off. So now we're going to do some more blue, and I don't know, I think I want to do 4 blue petals because, you know, the rest is going to be the red and white. So let me work on the blue part and see how many I want to do. Okay, so I think 4 petals, which is 1 bandana, I think that's going to be just fine for the blue part. So now what we're going to do is get our red and white here, and we are going to cut those in the exact same manner that we did here. No, I don't know how many I'm going to use. I've got a handful, but we will see. Let me get them cut, and then we will come back and see how we're going to space them out. Okay, so now let us get a red one. I've already put my zip tie on there, and I've cut up my red and white bandanas. Why don't I separate them into the 2 pieces? It's just a lot more sturdy this way. Had people ask, well, why don't you just separate it? That way you wouldn't have to buy so many bandanas. It's better this way. All right, so let's pull that up till it can kind of match the other petals. And pull this tight. And now we're going to put a white one right next to it. And then we're just going to alternate the red and the white around. No, it's not going to be accurate as in a real flag. We're just doing what we can do here. So for this round, whatever you want to call it, we're just alternating the red and the white. And then once I get them all on, we are going to drop down and put on our second row. And that's when it's really going to start looking a lot better. All right, so let's get the white one. Let's see. Stop! Okay. I'm sorry for that clanging noise. I've got a little brass chime hanging up here from my lighting rig, and it's making racket. Okay. That looks about right. We're just going to tighten this down. Okay. So there is your blue, and here's the red and the white. Like I said, we're just going to alternate the red and the white all the way around till we get back to the blue. Okay, so I have alternated my colors all the way around. So far, I have used one blue, one red, and one white. Like I said, I'm keeping tally, and we'll talk about how many we use total later on. So this is what I'm going to be using for the center, same size that I used for the other one. It is a 2.8 inch by 5.8 inch, this half sphere. And so we're going to lay that down and kind of see where it's going to lay so that we know how far down to put our other petals. Because we want this to cover up the base of the petal. I've got stuff all over me so that you can't see it. And because I have the red and white already out and cut up over here, we're just going to continue on with the red and white, and then we'll do the blue when we get over here. Okay, so we're going to put that here. So I am going to drop down right about here to start my next zip tie. See if that's in line with that red. Yes, it is. All right, so let's pull this up. There we go. And that should be good. Okay. Now we're going to do just like we've been doing. Ah, put them apart. Amber, stop. Now we're going to do the red and white all the way around again, just like we have been doing. But it's just that we've dropped down a little bit, okay? And then we'll do the blue, of course, when we get back over there. So let's pull this. And now we're going to try to get our petals, because you don't want your grid or your wire frame to show either. So this is where you really need to be careful in placing things. And no, your red and white are not going to line up perfectly. I know somebody's going to say, they don't line up. Go away. All right, so tighten that down, and then we're just going to clip this, and we'll cut the end here, and then I'm going to alternate the red and white all the way around. So our flower is done. Let's move it this way. So I used 2 blue bandanas, 3 red, and 3 white. Okay, and I was really trying to cram them in there. I know with the sunflower I didn't cram them in there as tightly, but yeah, I did with this one. Anyway, now we are going to work on our center. If you can see now, that is going to cover really nicely all of the ends of our bandanas here. So now I have my hot glue gun over here heating up, and we're going to open this. Why are you doing this to me? Lots of people ask about my glue gun with the fine tipped nozzle. I will have a link down in the description box where you can get this glue gun. But anyway, let's let it get hot, and I need to get some rope. So now what we are going to do is we're going to take this rope, and you can get, this large rope at Dollar Tree, wherever. I just got a big spool here, and I believe it came from Joann's. I can't remember. I buy craft supplies all over the place. So now we're just going to work our way around the bottom here, and we're just going to start gluing this all the way around. Okay, and we're just going to keep on going all the way around, and we're going to spiral it, of course, all the way up to the top. Just keep wrapping and gluing, and we're going to go around and around and around, like I said, all the way up to the top. So let me get a few rounds on here, and we will come back and take a look. This is done. Is this perfect? No, but we're going to cover it up, and you're not going to see it. So anyway, I have this garden stake, and it came from Dollar Tree. Would you look at the stuff all over my hands? It came from Dollar Tree, and it was a pain in the behind to take off, but I did it. Now I'm going to hot glue this down, and this is why I ask people, please watch the videos, because I have a lot of information in here. Hold on. I'm going to get this tube of glue. I'm going to fall on the floor. I'm going to hot glue this on because this is going to be inside. If you're going to have this hanging, or any wreath for that matter, hanging where it's going to be in direct sunlight, you can back everything up with some E6000, okay? So you put a little bit of hot glue on there, put some E6000 on there, and then stick it down. But because this is going to be indoors for me, I am just going to put a bunch of hot glue right here, and then I'm going to put the star on it. And I'm just going to hold it down until this glue sets up. Be careful. Hot glue coming into contact with metal, it will burn your fingers. Someone said that. I burned myself. I'm sorry. Hot glue guns get hot, so you need to understand that. And there's another fly. Don't you just love the warm weather? So I'm just going to hold this until it sets up. Now, at my store, I was trying to find one of these stars that was not scuffed or had any paint missing, and I couldn't find one. All of them had like little scuffs here and there, but I can touch that up with just a little bit of paint, so I'm not real worried about it. But once this gets set up, we're going to put it on our wreath. This is done, and I'm thinking about, you know, do we want stars on the blue part? And this center is so large, and I want that to be the focal point. And I think if I put stars up here, it's just going to throw everything off balance. And I don't think I even want any stars at all up there. If you want to put them on there, go ahead. I have some over here. You know, the little, I have some little wooden stars from Joann's that you can paint white. I may put those on here just to see what they look like. And if I like them on there, I will leave them. I will glue them down with some hot glue. Put some E6000 on there if you want to. But I just don't know if I want anything on there, okay? But let's kind of get this in the center here. And like I said, I'm just going to glue this down. Let's get your blue where you want it, so you can make sure that your star is upright. And then I'm just going to put a bunch of the glue right around here in the center, and then we're going to put the center on and we'll press it down. Now to hang it, I don't put anything on my wreaths, my wire wreath frames like this. I mean, I use a wreath hanger, but you can take a piece of wire and, you know, just twist it around the back of the frame and make a loop and use that. Let's get right here. I think is where I want it. Just going to hold it down. You know, or tie a piece of string around the frame and use it to hang like on a command hook or something. Whatever you like. I want to stand up and make sure the star's where I want it. Yeah. I need to touch up that red with some red paint. But anyway, I want to call this done. And if it has stars on it in the photo or at the end of this video, then you'll know I decided to glue the stars on it. I'm just not so sure. But anyway, I hope that you liked this video. If you would, please give it a thumbs up, click subscribe, check me out on other forms of social media, the links to all of which will be in the description box down below. And I hope to see y'all next time. Bye!